which made it so perfect. Because here we were expecting this baby with dark skin, dark eyes, dark hair, and he came out practically neon. He was so pale. And he brought the light into our world, like, in more ways than just the lack of pigment, but also, as soon as he was born, I suddenly had this pure example of love that was so enlightening that no man could ever fool me from that day forward. No man can ever tell me that they love me, because now I have a pure example of what love looks like. He might not be a grown-ass man, but he's a man. He's a little man. And the love that I get from him versus my daughter is different. You know, my daughter and I were like sisters. And the love from him is very different. And so now, because of that pure love, that pure example of what love was supposed to look like, no man can ever be like, I'm in love with you. I'm like, no, you're not. That boy is. That boy is in love with me. And that love never dies, right? Because like, I'm so in love with you as long as you're doing the things that I want you to. And as soon as you stop doing the things that they want you to, they don't love you anymore. And it's fake. It's all a facade. They'll just use their words to get what they want. It's manipulation. But that's pure love. So you caught a snake in your friend request, huh? Yeah. Right? It happens with genetics, right? That's how it happens when you mix along the way, right? So, no.
The other page out there.
No, but it's still raining outside.
I don't see any rain. Yeah, I can't see rain.
It's misting. It's still misting and it's muddy. No, bud. Let me clean up all the mud that you guys have already brought into the house. Can I do that? Thanks. And then Nigel, I chose his name also from Latin, but I chose the opposite of Lucifer. At first I thought of the word dark, but tenebris, it didn't have a ring to it. And then I was like, okay, well, if it's not dark, then I looked up black. Najir. And I was like, I don't want people to mispronounce his name as the N-word. And then I looked at it and I was like, Najir is one consonant off Nigel. So his name is also derived from Latin. But instead of the light, hey!
Where's Yuji? I'm in the bathroom.
She's taking a dump. Give me that. Thank you, sir. So black. And then the English meaning of his name is champion. And after the hell that I had to go through pregnant with him, like, that's a champion right there. He held on for dear life. Like, I quite literally had to fight my way out of a domestic violence situation. That motherfucker was blocking my way. He's a mountain standing in front of the door. You can't leave. I was like, yeah, I can't. You can't take the kids. I was like, yeah, I will. Watch me. You know, and I didn't tiptoe around the motherfucker either. I pictured myself going through. And in doing so, he couldn't use his reach as an advantage. He couldn't use his body weight as an advantage. Yeah. So I physically had to fight my way out. And that baby held on. You know, some people are so much less fortunate. They jump and lose their baby, right? I was carrying a toddler on my hip and a baby in a carrier, pregnant, just trying to get out for dear life. And he stayed. He held on. I also got sick because I was in a bunch of new environments, living in shelters, you know, living in close proximity to other people with other kids, and yeah, I got sick, really sick, a number of times. There was one time I even got food poisoning while I was pregnant with Nigel, and I was vomiting and having diarrhea, like double bucket syndrome, so bad that I started having early contractions from the dehydration. If you're severely dehydrated and you're pregnant, your body will force itself to go into labor to save your life. So, yeah, it's scary, man. I could have lost my baby, but he held on. He still held on. Yeah, as a champion, man. And my colostrum, because I was sick so many times, my colostrum was like a super fluid. It was packed with so many antibodies. And then the fact that he was born premature. He was born at 37 weeks. His lungs weren't even done cooking. I have to make sure he understands like the dangers of drinking also when he's older, because his liver wasn't fully developed when he was born. But he didn't have to go into an incubator because he was grunting. He was for like 48 hours after being born. Like as soon as he was out, he was I was like, what the hell is that? Why is he doing that? They're like, it's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's going to help get the fluid out of his lungs. All right. Premature babies have a tendency of contracting pneumonia because of the fluid in their lungs not expelling, right? So his instincts were very strong. And he seemed to do it more when he was in my arms. The nurses were laughing about that. It was like doing it a little bit in their arms, but when they would place him back in my arms, like he had so much to say. Kids, stop playing with that bathroom door.
Mommy, it's time for bath time for the boy.
No, you do not tell me when it is bath time for the boys. It's not your job to look after the boys. Don't. I said no already a few times. I'm sorry you're freaking bored in the house today, but I'm not letting you guys play out in the mud. Go to your room. Go play with toys in your room. I wanna. Go to your room.
No.
That's it.